like to introduce the first speaker for this afternoon session, Susanna Testa, researcher, professor at the design faculty at Politecnico. She's devoted to technological innovation in the fashion industry. She's a professor. She holds classes at the design faculty of the Politecnico di Milano. And she works with manufacturing technology and fashion drawing, portfolio and digital branding. She's active as an illustrator, a designer of fashion items, and she's also the founder of Panello. She's now going to present us the Designing the Future during the digital era. She's going to present us with the digital future of jewelry. She's going to explore innovation in this industry by means of digital processing, with the impact on creativity, the choice of material. The case studies will pinpoint to new opportunity for creativity through digital technology to try and be creative and competitive. I see that she's already online, so I'd like to welcome her. Good afternoon. I hope that you can hear me very well then. So again, good afternoon. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for your kind introduction. I'd like to thank Legor. I'd like to thank Vicenza Ora, Italian Exhibition Group, and the all organization for this wonderful opportunity to share knowledge. I'm very sorry I couldn't be with you in person. My name is Susanna Testa. I am a researcher and professor at the design faculty at the Politecnico di Milan. I deal with design and innovation process in the jewelry industry and accessory industry. I'd like to share my desktop with you. I hope you can see it. Could you please confirm? Can you see the presentation all right? Very well. Thank you. So, as was said, I'm going to talk about the new scenario for jewelry as introduced by digital technology in the value chain, and I'm going to share with you a number of case studies to that purpose. Now, before I start about the future scenario for the industry, I'd like to make one step backward and invite you to think about what is jewelry for you. Each of you should try and come up with a definition and perhaps also associate an image with what is jewelry to you. So my question is this a jewel? And I believe that you'll all agree on that. This is a pearl and diamond pendant that was owned by Marie Antoinette, the last queen of France. She was well known for her lifestyle, and before being made prey, she had collected all her jewels to be sent to Vienna. And this piece of jewelry has been sold by Sotheby's for over 36 million in an auction by Sotheby's. Now, I'll move on to another example, my second example. I'm going to comment on this video, asking you whether you believe that this is a jewel. I'm going to talk about this startup company, Pan Generator, creating jewels with light. This is a necklace that is made up of light, which is projected over the body of the model, of the person wearing it, through the smartphone. This is an app, dedicated app generating this necklace, McLooney, an ornament, which is just made up of light beams. So this is a comparison between two very different types of jewelry. On the left-hand side, you have an historical object with precious materials. On the right-hand side, you have an interactive jewels that has lost all its physical aspect, and it is indeed only the projection of light over the body of the wearer, becoming just again this lit-up surface with a constantly changing shape. And this obviously is quite different from the first item I showed you. And we may say that for jewelry to be considered as such, obviously it has to be made up of something precious. Over the past 2 centuries, the concept of craftsmanship, of man-made, handmade, has taken up an important role in attaching value to a piece of jewelry. In the past, and I'm being oversimplistic now in telling you that, well, the past can be presented as a straight line where value is associated directly to the craftsmanship, to the use of precious metals and materials. With the Industrial Revolution, we shifted from a system that was based on craftsmanship onto new industrial manufacturing models. Craftsmanship has been sided up, flanked by the use of equipment with an advantage in terms of time for development of these jewels and for the number of jewels being manufactured. It is during the Industrial Revolution that we show the shift from jewel made through craftsmanship to the jewels made at industrial level. So basically we shift from handmade jewel to the machine-made jewel. This is a kind of opposition between these two approaches that have marked all different industries and all different type of art objects as well. Jewelry has been involved also and touched by this basically opposition between being handmade and being machine-made, something that has been brought about through the Industrial Revolution. So two completely and opposed different processes have then been developed. So we have on the one hand side handmade jewels that are handmade, that are unique, made to measure, whereas on the other side we have industrial jewels that are standardized, that are accessible and democratic, and that are sold on the mass market. Here you see that increasing the value of the material, increasing the craftsmanship, you have a parallel increase of the value of the final object. After the development of the 20th century, we've have a disruptive effect on that linearity. In the 20th century, basically, not always is the value associated with the time used to make a certain jewel, with the price of the materials being used. Indeed, the price can also be the result in terms of intangible qualities. Defining today what a jewel is quite difficult because in the jewelry industry we have a lot of fragmentation, a lot of different and diverse labels and keywords. So much so that at times we might find also things that are in contradiction one with the other, labels that are in contradictions. So I think that in order to try and create some order, we should come up with perhaps a different vision. These words have come up after the changes that have been recorded in the industry as detected by project research that was carried out at the Politecnico di Milano. These keywords refer to the meanings that a piece of jewelry can take up. So a jewel can be functional, it could be used, for example, as an object of beauty and be just an ornament or act as a function, or it could be a magic or symbolic object. If we try and look at different words and group them together, for example, research, handmade, or mass production, digital manufacturing, or communication, well, this has to do with the complexity of the project, which requires a supply chain that is often diverse and non-standardized. Indeed, it changes based on the different requirements. Another theme cluster looks at the different disciplines that may be required, as, for example, engineering, art, or perhaps anthropology and chemistry, or archaeology and material sciences, different disciplines that contribute to the making of a jewel. The actors, the players, also play an important role in that basically a piece of jewelry is the result of the work of different companies, manufacturing companies, the designers, and those who choose it and sell it through the retailers. Looking at values, values are intangible, but it is indeed what guides the orientation of the brands in the world of jewelry, even more so than the uniqueness and preciousness of the material. These values are connected to the main features of our company manufacturing jewels. So there's no one single definition of a jewel. There are indeed different interpretations based on the processes leading to the object or to the wearer ideas. So basically, it is extremely fragmented. How about the future? Well, in the future, we can only think about possibilities, looking at what the present trends point out to. So we can look at trends at the state-of-the-art, the avant-garde movements that may lead to potential future developments, identifying something that may be in contrast with the present situation. Analyzing the macro trends that can be detected worldwide, the industry, and that bear on the different habits, on the aesthetics, on the wearer, we see that digital technologies is playing an ever greater role in the different sectors of human activities. We know, for example, that in the digital zines, we know that these are very important players as they influence, importantly, purchasing decisions. Oftentimes, consumers, even when they buy offline, they are greatly influenced by what happens online, i.e. information, advice got, again, online. Corona basically further promoted this digitalization process that was already underway before the corona breakout. As for jewels, digital technologies certainly are closely related to the chain value. It affects the characteristics of the process, of the products, and of the services connected to jewels. When we talk about processes, well, processes are those shifts that make sure that an idea is translated into a product, i.e. the concept of production, marketing, distribution, sale, customer care, use, disposal, and second life, the repurposing of the jewel. The product is the object which is manufactured or handmade to meet the requirement, the desire of consumer. And then there are services. services that are the intangible activities that are carried out to meet the needs of a specific target. And then experiences, that is, that set of interactions that involve perception, mutual perception, as well as emotional aspects between users, products, brands, and services. The digital revolution has brought about a lot of fluidity among the above, so much so that there is no isolation between the different items, and indeed there is a much closer cooperation and blending of these categories, so that the distance is reduced between what is handmade and what is machine-made, with the opposition being done away with, because now basically everything is much more blurred. So exclusivity and inclusivity are not are opposites again, as is customization and bespoke as man-made and mass-produced, artificial and pure raw materials. The inert raw material and the dynamism of the animation. We have basically all the different categories joining together, being much more blurred, with no such clear-cut distinction as was the case in the past. So we have, for example, artificial intelligence contributing to normal efficiency, normal intelligence. So the main difference between man-made and machine-made is still present also when it comes to jewels, but through digital revolution there's much more, again, flexibility, blurring between the two. All the dichotomies have become ranges, seamless ranges of different options. Through digital revolution, all the actors along the pipeline are mixed up together. And this pervasive integration of digital technology has influenced the value chain from design to distribution and consumption. This research project is the result of the analysis of the market trend as detected by different case studies, and it is also the result of experiences of a project that we have developed at the Politecnico di Milano. I'm now going to show you examples of this fluidity, of this seamlessly, and I'm going to start from the concept through the production to the interaction with the product, the use of that, down to retail and communication. At the concept level, digital technology and artificial intelligence, together with design, are enabling a much faster development of a design. Artificial intelligence may be used also to generate models. So the designer basically is using digital technology, as for example 3D printing, additive printing, to transfer the design into an object. You can have, for example, a resin-made 3D model for your jewel to make it finally become a traditional jewel. This brooch, Enchantress brooch from Folund, has been developed through algorithmic design and AI. This has been printed with a 3D printing machine, and then has been further developed and finished with a handmade approach. So basically, by means of AI, we could create a whole variation of different shapes, not just design, that is, but all the human actions can lead to different results. In this case, the process and the product are closely interrelated. The craftsmanship, human creativity, and AI and algorithms are all blended together and interrelated. Digital co-creation platform open up a new area for cooperation. Designers may design processes rather than design the final object. Design, therefore, is obtained through paradigm generating endless variations with a structural consistency. One example is a generative study that combines technology, art, using 3D printers and digital platform to create customized products. Users may interact with the graphic interchange, developing variations that are inspired by nature or by fractals mathematics to come up with custom design single pieces. Here we see a blurring between customization and standardization, between physical and virtual, between creativity and AI. Latest technologies may enable designers to involve consumers and users right from the early stages of creativity, coming up with a product that meet their requirements and generating emotional experiences. An example and case is this 3D orchid by Minale Meda that can be attached to suits. The shape of the flower is generated based on the season, the location where the user is based. In case the user is unhappy with the result, a new creation can be developed based on new features. This basically stresses how important the local dimension is, with the possibility to have a 3D printed model locally based on the local characteristics in terms of the soil conditions, the weather conditions, and so on and so forth. Here, this is Nuange and Apesanteur by Boucheron. It is a necklace that basically refers to necklaces obtained through logarithms with over 4,000 white stones and drops of glass on titanium wires that are as thin as human hair. So you see that virtual models together with the engineering can be mixed up with the craftsmanship, the different matters, and human creativity. Digital technologies have permeated the products to make them able to record data, store data, and making them liable to different behaviors and to change based on the conditions of the wearer. This is the case for of certain wearables, Aura being one of them, where you can measure the health, the amount of sleep of the wearer, sharing such data with a smartphone. These are made-to-measure software items, basically. They detect the different features of the wearers, and the frame is mass-produced. These are tangible objects that are dynamic at the same time because they can record and send information on an ongoing basis. They enable different users to exchange data and establish digital conversations. There are other projects with integrated technology that are extremely dynamic, even from the physical point of view. Over time, for example, changing the input, either willful inputs or non-willful inputs, change color. Oyster is a project launched by the Politecnico di Milano. It includes a number of sensors, so much so that the shape is changed based on the emotional condition of the person, of the wearer. Retail and communication have been permeated by the change that were implemented by digital revolution. For example, augmented reality, mixed reality, the metaverse have been disruptive vis-a-vis the way we interact with the products and convey information. Virtual reality enables clients to try on products in a digital environment. The augmented reality introduces digital element in the real world. This is useful in the world of retail to visualize products or specific physical spaces, to enrich education, to enrich also advertising. Mixed reality combines augmented reality and the real reality. And the metaverse is a further development of such technologies, thus creating a digital shared environment where users may interact as avatars. And this adds to the possibilities that retailers may use, as the case for exploring virtual shops and stores, for example, or attending meetings. Well, these technologies are, in a way, changing dramatically the way we make our purchases, and they are also changing the borders or the boundaries between the digital world and the real world. I'd like to quote this example by Maria Tash, which is a try-on digital tool. In this case, the software of virtual try-on enables users to visualize piercing different earrings and try them on, basically, on their body. Here we break away with the borders between physical and virtual. In this platform, you can try on virtual jewels that may be worn by means of augmented reality, virtual space, and mixed reality. The jewels are physically developed in limited editions, and when bought, the purchaser is given the digital format with a link to a filter enabling them to wear such accessories as bought through the platform. Using Google Meet, Snapchat, or other virtual platform for conference call. So you see that the object is moving. And when it comes to top-of-the-range jewelry, this opens up again to virtual products. This is the Genesi collection by Dolce & Gabbana. That is in a way somewhat in between the two worlds, with virtual NFT as an impossible tiara that you see here, which is actually made with imaginary stones that have no connection with anything physical. And then there are other physical objects that are included that may be bought individually. So the collection basically is a totally virtual collection that was sold at an auction for $6 million. Here we have a top-of-the-range collection, including NFT, through a technology event which is called Vivatech, held in Paris, which is the most important technology event in terms of startup in Europe. And this collection, Beyond Wonders, is the combination of traditional craftsmanship and digital solutions. and the objects could not be physically be obtained in the real world. At the Politecnico di Milano, we are experimenting the possibilities that are made possible through the new technologies. This is the project devoted to jewels. Utopia is the title of the project. The main objective was to explore the designing project of a collection of virtual jewels that was conceived to be worn in the digital world. The concept of the jewels have been developed with the use of artificial intelligence. And the objects have been exhibited in an ad hoc show, virtual show. Artificial intelligence and digital technology may be used also for communication purposes. Through AI, a campaign has been put together, and the images that you see are the result of prompts, of inputs that and of the iterative dialogue with the artificial intelligence. So the faces that you see here depicted are not real, but are only similar to what is possible faces. So you see that in the system of jewelry, we have much more blurred boundaries. And you see that these new models of jewelry tell us about contamination, exchange of knowledge, an exchange of different disciplines, even far away from the world of jewel, as is the case for gaming, to create immersive reality. Cartier in 2021 has entered a partnership with Fashion Gaming to promote their collection, Clash Unlimited, through Testa. Testa is a platform that enables users to create and customize apparel, jewels, and to see them as worn by avatars. Another more recent example of a combination between the fashion industry and jewel is this cooperation with Bulgari to develop an online collection. 1 million hits have characterized this object. So what about the future? What do we expect for the future? I have shown you state-of-the-art, very modern examples, but these examples can identify some trends that are not pointing to the replacement of productive models or the doing away of certain professions, but rather they point the way to a coexistence and the blurring between the real reality and virtual reality, craftsmanship and engineering, what is real, what is not real, human creativity and artificial intelligence. So the future is not going to see a replacement, but is going to be an opening up of new horizons with the new connections ensuing. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I'm sorry I won't be attending the Q&A session, but I'm going to leave you my mail. So should you have any questions or doubts, please feel free to write to me directly. Thank you very much. So this is all on my side. So maybe we can take questions immediately if there are urgent questions from the audience. I don't see anybody asking for the floor, so I'd like to thank Professor Testa for her presentation. Thank you.